Colombia has produced cases so disturbing that they changed how the public and law enforcement understood serial violence. This is a countdown of 10 of the most infamous serial killers linked to Colombia. No gore, no glorification, just the facts, why each name became infamous, and why their cases still matter today. And number 1 is widely considered the most notorious. Number 10, Manuel Octavio Bermudez. He's on this list because his crimes were tied to vulnerable victims and occurred in contexts where communities had limited protection and visibility. Cases like this become infamous not only for what happened, but for how long they can go unnoticed. His name is remembered as a warning about how isolation and weak oversight can allow serial offenders to operate. And number 9 is even more infamous. Number 9, Jorge Eliezer Pacheco. He's on this list because of the fear created by repeated connected crimes, where patterns emerged and the public realized it wasn't random. When investigators identify a repeating signature, the case shifts from incident to serial threat. That shift is what makes names like this become nationally infamous. And number 8 is even more infamous. Number 8, Jose Antonio Rodriguez Vega. He's on this list because the case exposed how easily some offenders can blend into everyday life. The public remembers these cases because they challenge the belief that danger is always obvious. When the truth comes out, it creates a lasting shock, because it feels like it could happen anywhere. And number 7 is even more infamous. Number 7, Rafael Antonio Garcia. He's on this list because the case involved escalating fear and a growing sense that authorities were racing the clock. Infamous cases often have the same effect. Communities change routines, people become hyper-aware, and rumors spread faster than facts. That climate of fear is part of what makes these names stick in history, and number 6 is even more infamous. Number 6, Juvenal Ovidio Ricardo Palma. He's on this list because the case is remembered for its severity and for the investigative pressure it created. When a case forces major public attention, media focus, and investigative urgency, it becomes infamous beyond the courtroom. These are the cases that reshape how communities think about safety. And number 5 is even more infamous. Number 5, Luis Fernando Gallego Sanchez. He's on this list because the case became part of wider public conversation about prevention, early warning signs, and the difficulty of stopping serial offenders quickly. Infamy grows when the public feels the system moved too slowly, or when the pattern becomes clear only after significant harm. And number 4 is even more infamous. Number 4, Campo Elias Delgado. He's on this list because his case is remembered as one of the most shocking multi-victim events tied to Colombia, and it left a deep cultural imprint. Some cases become infamous not only for criminal details, but because they become a national reference point for fear, trauma, and how quickly violence can unfold. And number 3 is even more infamous. Number 3, Daniel Camargo Barbosa. He's on this list because he's associated with multiple killings and cross-regional activity, meaning the threat wasn't contained to one place. Cases like this become infamous because they show how mobility and weak coordination can let offenders evade capture longer. And number 2 is even more infamous. Number 2, Pedro Alonso Lopez. He's on this list because his case became internationally known due to the sheer scale of claims and the fear it created across multiple countries. Whether through confirmed cases, confessions, or unresolved questions, the public remembers names like this because they represent a worst-case scenario, a long-running predator who stayed active for too long. And now, number 1. Number 1, Luis Alfredo Garavito. He's widely regarded as the most notorious serial killer linked to Colombia because of the extreme victim count associated with the case and the national shock it produced. This case is infamous not only for what happened, but for how it changed public awareness and pressured institutions to improve protection, reporting, and investigation. It remains one of the darkest chapters in Colombia's true crime history. These cases are remembered not to sensationalize them, but to understand how serial violence spreads, how patterns are caught, and where systems fail. Which number shocked you the most, and why? Comment below. Subscribe to Curiosity Vault for more documentary-style true crime. Open the vault.